The Deputy Attorney General offered to wear a wire into the White House. He said, I never get searched when I go into the White House. I could easily wear a recording device. He was not joking. He was absolutely serious.
Well, former Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein claimed that he was joking when he and Andrew McCabe discussed recording the president. But now some new memos written at the time reveal that he was serious. So how should the administration respond to all this? Criminal defense attorney Dave Bruno says that we need to take anything that McCabe says with a grain of salt, and he joins me now to explain. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Always good to be here.
So can't listen to McCabe. What do you think happened? What's going on?
Well, on the McCabe piece, the Inspector General had referred the lying to the Department of Justice. And even more recent news has said that the Department of Justice they're indicting McCabe. We'll see. But here's what I think about this story. I actually think that this brings credibility to Rosenstein.
Really?
Absolutely, because Rosenstein has towed the line on both sides. He started out by writing the memo recommending firing Comey. Then he appointed Mueller. He oversaw the Mueller investigation. And I think the last and final part, which is most important for this conversation, is that he and AG Barr shut the door on obstruction of justice. Let's not forget, the Mueller report closed down conspiracy, but left open obstruction of justice. And at the time, we didn't know why, but now we know it's because of the memorandum in the Department of Justice that says no sitting president can be indicted.
Right.
But when AG Barr got that memo, he was with Rosenstein. And he and Rosenstein came to the conclusion that the evidence was insufficient to charge President Trump.
But what about this stuff, though, about the wire? Let's take a look back at this quote from McCabe on the Rosenstein wire. He said the Deputy Attorney General proposed that he could potentially wear a recording device into the Oval Office to collect additional evidence on the president's true intentions. He said he thought this might be possible because he was not searched when he entered the White House. And then you have Rod Rosenstein denying it last year, saying, I never perused or authorized recording the president, and any suggestion that I've ever advocated for the removal of the president is absolutely false.
Right. So Rosenstein is saying he said it in jest. Also, we know from this memo that just came out that there are two witnesses in the room. So it's not just Rosenstein versus McCabe's version of events. There are two objective parties that were there.
That back up Rosenstein?
Yeah, no, we don't know what those two witnesses. We only know that the two witnesses were there because of the memo released yesterday. So do we want to know if he was telling the truth or in jest? We go to those witnesses.
Will that happen?
Probably not. I don't think that there's going to be congressional hearings on this. But I will point out that when it first came out, we didn't know where Rosenstein stood. I mean, that was before the Mueller report came out. And like I said, we knew where he stood at the end. But also, when it first came out, we were talking about 25th Amendment. We were talking about that in the context that Trump was incompetent. But that's not what this memo says. McCabe says in this memo that it was more about getting to the true intentions of the firing of Comey. But I go back to I think that this bolsters Rosenstein's credibility as a call it like I see it, nonpartisan prosecutor.
But at the same time, you started our conversation by saying that he towed the line. But some would say perhaps he was playing both sides until he figured out what the ending was going to be.
Or he was playing the cards that he was dealt at the time, right? Because, yes, he did things that arguably fell on the Democrat side, which is appointing special counsel. Right? But then at the very end, I think that's the most important part to look at. And he was part of shutting down the obstruction of justice. And then the question
is why?
Why what? Why shut down obstruction of justice?
Why did he ultimately fall along on that side? Well, at the last minute? I
think because it is the president's constitutional right to be at the top of the executive branch and fire whoever it is he wants.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Dave. We appreciate it.
You got it.
Good stuff this morning. Pleasure. Laying it out for us. Well,